Hey there, readers. So, yesterday's read aloud was a little bit crazy because I just think I was a little discombobulated. I was finishing my meeting with Dr. Korab and then trying to rush and get it done and trying to get to our math meeting. So, let's finish this chapter with talking flowers and grumpy rivers on the planet of Uriel. And yes, you can notice that I do have some rather delightful braids in my hair from a very enthusiastic 13-year-old hairdresser. So if you're admiring my hair, you can make appointments at Salon de Desiree when, when things open back up. So we were just wondering about the we were wondering if Meg was kind of a figure that gave off a dark vibe. So let's find out. This was what made Uriel the best world in the universe, a beautiful, planet-wide symphony of every part working together. For all of Kamazotes, I had to remember, closeness, the it had not yet been able to pierce through the pure love Uriel's beings had for one another. The flowers didn't know it, but the it had not really tried yet. The waterlogged planet was a low priority. A shadow crossed over their faces. It was the youngest element, back in her favorite form. The flowers passed a rainbow of colors through their petals as she flew by. Bunching together, the flowers followed her to the shoreline, peering up in curiosity as the elemental showed the stranger the awful planet looming above them. Suddenly, a cry of panic disrupted Uriel's song. A shape was plummeting through the sky. It wasn't the elemental. Why wasn't it spreading its petals to fly? Did it not know how to float on the air currents? Oh dear! Oh dear! Springing into the air, the flowers extended their petals in their outmost reach, forming a circle under the figure. Its weight crushed against them, but more flowers pushed up from underneath to add support. Together they drifted down and placed the figure carefully on the sand. It wasn't the doubtful curly-haired one, or the smallest one who was full of wonder. This one radiated its thanks. The flowers bobbed their heads in acknowledgment as the elementals and their figures joined them on the beach. After some buzzing between them, the curly-topped one turned to them, no longer surrounded by a pale gray, but a confident crimson instead. Again she proffered the silver gem. But this time, when they leaned closer, the flowers could see in its center a picture of the earlier visitor, the one who'd fallen down upon getting to Uriel and let out bellows of victory before leaping past them. Waving in excitement, the flowers rearranged themselves, tinting themselves red, orange, and blue. The figure tilted her head before racing to a nearby hill and climbing it. From higher up, she could see the full pattern the flowers made, and they nodded happily as she bounced up and down, rays of yellow floating out of her. Her colors shifted, asking if their visitor was still there on Uriel, and if they knew where he was. No, they didn't know, hanging their heads in pity. They wished they had more answers for the figures. The visitor had vanished as abruptly as he'd appeared. If he were anywhere on Uriel, they'd know it, but no whisper of him had reached the flowers since he'd left. There was nothing more they could do to help. Still the figures thanked the flowers before the elements whisked them away. So that is the end of chapter 10. was a really quick chapter today. And so who do we think it was that had just left Uriel? Think about it for a second. And think about the curly-headed one that went from being kind of gray and grumpy to vibrant and yellow and happy. Yeah, that's definitely Meg. Meg Murray's whole attitude changed. Her whole feeling changed when she realized that at one point, yep, her dad had been there. So her dad had been to Uriel, but he tested off of that planet. So what do we think is going to happen next? Let's see. Tomorrow we will read chapter 11, The Happy Medium. And let's see. Oh yeah, that's a nice thick chapter. It's a nice thick one. We might have to break that one up, but we'll find out. So we'll find out about this happy medium tomorrow. He's got a man bun. Can you see it? I don't know if you can see it as well. There it is. He's got a man bun. So we'll find out about him tomorrow. I'll read you just a little bit to start. In a universe pulled in every possible direction, one of the most difficult things to do is to find a balance. The happy medium understands better than most that the only way to fight against the darkness is to truly know how light and dark exist in the universe at the same time. That's very powerful to think about that. So if you think about that, and if we were going to re-say it maybe in our own words, finding balance means knowing how to deal with good and bad at the same time. Knowing how to deal with evil and goodness all at the same time. Super powerful. I hear you, Kate Cassidy. I hear you. I know. You're in the kitchen cooking breakfast. That one's sticking with me too. I like that quote a lot. Truly know how light and darkness exists in the universe at the same time. Love it. All right, I'm going to stop there for today. Have a great day, kiddos.